Hey everybody, I'm Caleb Dennison, and keeping me company today is none other than the Samsung Q90R. Says so right on the box, even though you can't see all of it. Also keeping me company today is Riley. He's behind the camera right now, but he's going to be coming around to help me unbox this beast because it is a very sizable 65-inch 4K HDR TV. It is the best 4K TV that Samsung makes, and I have to make that distinction now because they make 8K TVs too. Anyway, I'm really excited to show you this TV for a number of reasons. Let's get to it. So we're gonna have to cut both the top and the bottom of the box to liberate this TV. And you know, it's a 65-inch TV, so you wanna have a friend anyway, but this is the heaviest 65-inch TV that I've felt in a long time. And I think that's because manufacturers are going with seriously heavy stands. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Okay, so here's everything that comes in the box, and yeah, there's a lot of pieces here. So let's go through all of them. The centerpiece, and I feel like this gets bigger and heavier every year, is the Samsung One Connect box. Yes. Now, if you're not familiar with the One Connect box, this is definitely one of the best things Samsung has going for it. So everything, all your stuff plugs into this box. So if we flip it around, we can see we've got a number of HDMI inputs on the back and, you know, antenna power, that kind of stuff. There's actually some USB ports over here. But what's really neat about this box is that once you route everything into it, including your power, as I mentioned before, everything is going to run up to your TV with this fiber optic cable. Power, all the video signal just goes through this cable. So a lot of the processing is happening in that box, and then it delivers the video signal straight up to the panel. And that's great because that means that you don't have a whole lot of hairy cables to try and run to the TV. It hangs out with all the rest of your stuff. It's just a brilliant design. Here's the power cable for the One Connect box we saw earlier, and then we've got the remote. A word about this remote. I just watched a colleague's unboxing and review video of this television, Vincent T.O. over at HD TV Test, shout out my man. And I'm a little bit disappointed here because in the UK version of this TV, you get both a standard remote with tons of buttons on it, and then you also get a really nice remote like this, only his was metal. The UK version gets a really nice metal version of this remote, which we have received in the past with prior TVs. I mean, it's fine, but it doesn't have the weight and the luxury premium feel that the metal remote does, and I kind of miss that. Well, while we're here, I might as well point it out that they added Netflix, we've got Prime Video and Hulu here, which is a new addition to this remote style. So a few more buttons, but it's still pretty minimalist. And of course, to run the remote, you gotta have your Bexel batteries. We made fun of that before. Gotta be some kind of a big brand over in South Korea that I haven't heard of before. Few little bits and bots. I believe this is related to cable management. I think this helps route that fiber optic cable that we saw earlier. I believe these are bumpers in case you're gonna wall mount this. And then finally, some little pads that'll go on the bottom of the stand. Speaking of the stand, this plastic piece is going to go directly on the back of the TV. We'll show you that in a little bit, but that's just to sort of help get it connected to this beast. That weight I was talking about earlier, it's all right here. But you know what? I think you're gonna like this stand. All right, so we're almost ready to mount the stand on this TV. Before we go there, I wanna point out, this is not as fancy of a backing on the TV as we've seen in the past. We've seen chamfered metal. Sometimes we see carbon fiber on the back of the TV, and I always make a joke, nobody looks at the back of the TV, but I do notice that we're back to some plastic here. There's a little bit of flex there, probably not a big deal. You do have your VESA mounting holes here, here, and here. You can go that way, but listen, I would recommend you get Samsung's no gap wall mount. That's what goes in here, and it really is almost zero gap mount between the wall and the TV. And since the TV is a little bit on the thicker side due to its backlighting, I think that makes a really big difference. So if you want the cleanest look, go for the Samsung no gap wall mount. It's a worthy extra purchase. But now let's go ahead and put that big old heavy stand on this thing. Oh, and hey, this threw me for a loop. I probably should have read the instructions, but this channel, this groove here is obviously meant for the One Connect cable. So you go in there, route it around this way, and then obviously it's supposed to go here, right? You want to route the cable into this little channel, and then it comes down from the bottom of the TV. But this is only if you're wall mounting the television, all right? If you're gonna use the stand, don't bring it past this point because it won't fit, all right? We're gonna put the plastic stand cover in this area, as you'll see in a second. So now we just slide this plastic portion in so it locks into the grooves. And we get to screwing. So the instructions say to actually put this metal base down on the ground and then bring the TV to it. I say forget that business. Just drop this guy right on very gently. It can definitely take the weight, and then more screwing. Now you can see how we're gonna put in our one connect cable and route it. Keep this little tab up because we're gonna use that to secure this thing. It's a little bit of strain relief. And then you wanna line it up just right and push it in until you get a nice satisfying click. Then grab your screwdriver, and the one remaining screw that's in the box goes right here, and that's gonna actually keep that connector from pulling out if there's any tugging on the cable. From there, you route this cable through the groove, and when we get down here, we're actually going to go through this groove that sits between the two pieces of the stand. And at that point, you've got yourself a very nice, clean installation. Ta-da! Already looking pretty good, I think, although obviously we need to get these suckers off. So let's peel those off. This is nice protection for while you're setting up the television. Not a fan of that sound though. And yeah, you know what? I like this stand a lot. It is heavy, but it's got a premium feel. And look, there's just enough room down below for a sound bar. Probably a Samsung soundbar. I don't think that's a coincidence. So let's power this guy on. Want to see what kind of a boot time we get. Should be pretty quick. This thing's got a very powerful processor. And here we go. Now look, you can set this up in a traditional way. Select your language and go through all that rigmarole. But one of the cool aspects of the Samsung TV is that if you also own a Samsung Galaxy phone and they're on the same network, it should automatically recognize there's a new device and allow you to start setting it up with your phone instead. And it's way more intuitive. Let me show you what I mean. All right, this goes really quickly. So we tell it it's at home. This is our living room TV. We have an option to look for apps that we might want to add instead of going through the TV to do that. That's pretty handy. And then it's going to scan for over-the-air channels because that's what we're hooked up with here. But if we had a cable box, it would recognize it. We could tell it which provider that we had, and it would automatically control that cable box. All of this to say that I'm doing this all on the phone without clicking anything on the remote, and it's remarkably easy. All right, now for the real test. The great thing about that auto setup with the phone is that it should have logged me in to my streaming apps automatically. No username and passwords necessary. It just gets it all from the phone. Womp womp, didn't seem to work. I'm not sure exactly why that is. I'm gonna have to go back and check. But yeah, the idea is supposed to be that it automatically logs you in so you don't have to put in username and passwords. We'll have to check with Samsung and get to that in our review video later. So right out of the box, it looks like it's in standard mode. So let's move over to the settings and dig into that. Yeah, it's defaulting to picture mode, which is not really a surprise. So let's go to the movie mode, which you're gonna notice darkens things a little bit. And then I'll pop down into expert settings and let's explore what's going on here. For now, I'm going to go with the movie setting. I'm gonna leave the brightness, contrast, sharpness, color, all of those settings standard. We do wanna apply this to all sources, understanding that we may have to do this again when we go into certain apps. I turned Digital Clean View off for now. I turned Auto Motion Plus off. That gets rid of soap opera effect. And I turned the local dimming to high because in this bright room, that's definitely paying off. But in a dark room, I think you could go with medium and be all right. We'll explore that further in our full review. But at this point, all your basic settings are where they need to be and you're ready to start watching TV. So far, I'm really impressed with this TV. There's a few extra steps here and there, but the login with the app was really slick. I'm not sure why it didn't log me into my streaming services. Maybe that's just not happening these days. I'll ask Samsung and find out. Otherwise, everything about this TV looks excellent so far. Thanks for watching our unboxing and basic setup video. If you like this, be sure to come back around for the full review. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you didn't, go ahead, I can take it. Definitely leave a comment though. We want to know what you liked about the video and what you would like to see more of. While you're here, check out 2 more videos we think you'll like, and of course visit digitaltrends.com for all the latest in tech news and reviews.